Tonight, I am really thrilled because we have one of my favorite acts in the whole world here with us tonight, Reggie Watts and John Tejada. Let's bring them out to the stage. So we have Wajatta here live in the flesh.
Hello, hello.
Thank you guys so much for making it out here. You two are two of the busiest people in show business. Reggie just wrote a whole ass biography.
Oh shit, that's true. That's true. Excuse my French. Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true.
And John's put out like 3 albums in 2023.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Can't stop an architect.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Like, how did this creative collaboration start?
In a club.
Yeah, Reggie came to a show, but actually we have a lot of mutual friends. One is standing right there. One of the people responsible for
Sick.
putting us together. But actually, once in a while, one of your friends would say, "Hey, Reggie wants your number. Can you have your number?" And
Oh, really?
But we just never. We just had to meet in person. So it was just kind of meant to be because we have so many mutual friends that we're both like really close with, and then eventually we just ended up in the same room, and then. It just had to happen. But it took a little while before, we weren't in a rush or didn't think anybody wanted to hear it, or I don't know, So it took quite a while. I mean, you had your friend who worked here, Rachel, who kind of put the.
I don't know if you guys remember Rachel.
Rachel Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the most powerful Reynolds in the world. So powerful she had to move to Nashville. Basically like that night, like I was a fan of his. I knew about him in the aughts, and when I was living in Williamsburg, my ex-girlfriend was really into techno and introduced me to John's music, and I fell in love with that. And then when I came to LA, I always thought John like lived in some palace or something and like and got like government funding from Austria or something like that. And just like imagine him as just like, he's just like a really intense, very serious guy. And then I met him the night that you were spinning, and I didn't really even know what he looked like. And I just remember going like, man, John Tejada, man, imagine meeting John Tejada. And then like just like I'm just like, hi, I'm John. And I'm just like, what? No way, man. No, you can't be right here. But it was great. And then he played an insane set. I had a fun time dancing. It was a really cool club night. And and then we just slowly, kind of tepidly started saying, hey, you want to do something? But we were like friends first. And I was afraid to ask him to do something because I thought it was tacky.
I didn't want to bother him because everybody's trying to bother him. So.
Oh,
Wait, so how long did that dance go when you guys didn't want to bother each other?
I think he was introducing me to a good friend of his that's a friend of mine now. And I was like, are you going to come along as well? And he's like, I guess so. And I was like, oh, like, I guess we need to, something's off. I think we need to work on music now.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But it was like super easy because my dream, like how I like to make projects or do things is I kind of like think of it as being a F1 race car driver. It's like, I'm just the driver, right? So I show up and there's a team that's there going like, that's what they're saying. And then I'm just like put on the helmet and I get in the car and I just drive it. And so when I went into the studio with John, I was like, well, I just like to improvise. And he was like, sure. And then he had like an idea of a skeleton of a song, and I did something over it. And that was one track, and then we did another track exactly the same way. Probably made 3 tracks in like probably 45 minutes.
Two of those were keepers, one wasn't. And then eventually we started making the tracks together from the start, because that's kind of what I like doing.
Yeah. It was dope. I mean, it just worked out. It was very organic. I didn't have to stand my ground and go like, listen, I'm an improviser and I don't like working on lyrics. And he was just like, great, I know what to do. And then the next day, every time I work with John, like the next day, 80% done track, he's sending it to me. So this guy's so fast, and I love to work fast. So it just worked out. It was great.
Is there a lot of creative tension there between, I see John as being like very precise with his productions, almost with like a jeweler's loop or something like that. and Reggie conjures magic out of thin air. How did you guys find that middle ground to sort of be able to find a working relationship?
He comes and drives the car, and then he leaves, and then someone's building the car for the next race for 7 to 20, 30 days. So
That's true.
But it just works that way. I mean, also how he was saying he knew of my stuff, I knew of his stuff as well. And when we talked about doing this, it was just kind of obvious how it would work. It was like, let's not make it something brand new and reinvent the wheel. Let's just put exactly what we do together, which, I mean, that's a collaboration, right? But sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You guys are now 4 releases into this collaboration. What do you think is the secret to a successful creative collaboration?
I guess we just don't. Is this live, by the way?
This isn't not.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, I'm just like we don't fuck around. You know, like we don't mess around with the formula. You know, like the music can go in a bunch of different areas. It's not like we have a formula like musically or stylistically necessarily, because we definitely, I think every release we always push something. There's some new angle, or I think the music gets a little bit clearer in some cases, at least for what I add, and so that's always evolving. But the formula of like showing up at John's house, John mixes magical John coffee drink, I drink the coffee drink, we hang out, I'm holding a microphone, he's like, oh, it's kind of working, and I'm like, oh, cool, maybe add this, and then I go, blah, 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 and he's like, okay, great, I'll see you later. Like that's kind of it. Lynn's, you know, like his partner's like working on a laptop, you know, saving the world somehow, and then I leave, and Sherman Oaks, you know, vibes forever. But yeah, SO man. But yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think we just don't mess with it.
How different is what we're going to see tonight, you guys performing live, different from how you would operate in the studio, kind of working from scratch?
I mean, working in the studio, I've got different tools, but as far as like live performance goes, we haven't done it in a year and a half, so that's interesting. And I've got some classic bits, tape delay, which hopefully is still working as I start. So some fun old analog bits, and we're going to keep it kind of more open and groovy, less structured, which is, you know, Reggie's MO. So I think as we go, and especially after you have a break, you just kind of come back and like rethink, and it makes things like just really easy and clear. Yeah. But we don't exactly know, you know, it's half sort of improvisational, so yeah, we shall see.
We're going to riff off the things that we've made, basically.
Okay. Well, looking forward to hearing it. We're here live at the Annenberg Performance Studio here at KCRW, and I want to welcome Wajatta live. Sick. Thank you, guys.